on from part one, which was, let's be honest, a bit of a disaster. But this is how you learn. This is what you've got to do to learn new things. So you try them out, and if they work, great. If they don't work, you try something else. So we're going to see if we can salvage anything from that first little exercise that we did, trying to get the tops of the lamps together. So let's see how it goes. I did try it one more time. I glued the top on, I glued the bottom on. It seemed to be glued okay. I came to cut off the excess cardboard, but then it fell to bits again. So I've come to the conclusion that the glue, PVA, is not good enough for this. It's no good for acrylic to cardboard. So what I'm going to do is to get some better adhesive, and I'm going to try it again. If at first you don't succeed, remember the old rule, give up. So you can see I finally bought some Gorilla Glue. No, don't worry, I'm not sponsored by them, I'm not selling it or anything like that. But lo and behold, look what happened. It worked. So now I've got my prototype top of the lamp, and what I need to do now is to build the finials, and then I can put the posts on, and that's the first one done. But what I'll probably do is build another 7. I'm going to have 8 of them in total, and then I will show you how I put them together. When I got my template like this, what I did was copy around it and draw another copy of it, so I would know exactly where to put my acetate sheet after I'd cut them out. And what I've done is take a little extension off each of these, 1, 2, 3, and the same this way, 1, 2, 3. So I can now place this in its rightful position there, and using a steel rule I can copy over that. You've got to watch it doesn't move, of course. Copy over that to get the correct bending line. So that's the first one. Make sure it doesn't move again. Get the second one and hold it in place again so we can get the third one. Now I smudged it a little bit, but you get the idea. You can see now I've got 3 lines, 2, 3, that I can use to bend. When I do the next one, I'll be a little bit more careful with smudging. So I would do that and then lift it off more carefully. The method I use to fold them is quite simple really. Just put it on the lines and then take up the acetate, fold it up, so I've got a right angle there on the line. That's the first one done. Then I take the next one, also on that line, and I fold that up, push it up against the steel rule. Third one, we do exactly the same again, fold it up, and then those are now ready for bending into shape. All of the lamp tops are now all glued at the bottom end. So when those are set, they're going to be cut out, and then all the tops are going to be glued on. All the bottom parts are glued on now and set, and now this is the top part that's going to be put on, and they're glued in place now. So the next job will, when that's set, after probably 8 hours or so, I'm going to cut those out, and I should have those ready for the post going on then. Oh, after I've blackened in the edges, of course. The next thing I have to do is to drill a little hole in the centre of each of these bottom ones. Now it's a little bit finicky that, so I've had to use a little tiny drill I started off with. You have to be careful with it, and then I use the actual end of this skewer to open it out a little bit afterwards, and then I used a pair of scissors, the end of a pair of scissors, to twist it around a little bit so I could get a hole big enough to take this skewer, and what I do is end up with it like this when it's finally onto the skewer. So now I've just got to cut that to length. That's the next job to do. After a little bit of experimenting, I found the best way to get the holes in was to use a little drill like this first of all to get through the cardboard, which gives me that. The next step, I use this small drill as well, so this will allow me to go all the way through here. Hope you can see this clearly. There we go, see, it's gone all the way through. Right, just twist it around a little bit, and then finally with this drill, which just opens it out to the right size, this is cardboard I'm working with, remember. Right, so that, whoops, that should now allow me to stick that onto there like that, and there we have the finished top of the lamp. Pretty good, eh? As you can see, I've been quite busy with my lamps here, so I've now got 9 lamps. I was going to do 8, but I did an extra one. Now you will notice there's a lot of white stuff inside the supposed glass areas. Well, that's been brought about by the glue that I used, the Gorilla Glue. So you've got to use it very, very, very faintly. Otherwise it sort of puffs up to be like a little foam. But I'm sure it won't be very noticeable when it's finished. I've still got all the finials to go on top, and I have a little bit of tarting up of the post to do as well. So that'll be the next job to do. Okay, what I've done a simple development of a pyramid here. What I've done, I've taken this distance here, which is just slightly more than the top of the lamp. So that will give it a little bit of overhang, which I need. And I've taken the length, I've just guessed that length, 2 millimeters extra, so it's going to give it a little bit of rise. This was 10 millimeters, and I made a little template like this, and I worked out that this was 10 millimeters, but that's when it's flat. So I've made it a couple of millimeters longer, so that's 12 millimeters from there to there. This is 10 millimeters. So now I'm going to cut that out and see what it looks like when I put it together. Okay, take a look at both of these now. This was the first one, you can see it's much taller. This is the second one, so that looks much more in proportion. So I'm going to use this now as my template, the one on the left, and I'm going to make all 9 of those now, and then I'm going to be able to stick them on top of the lamp. And I don't know if I can show you this or not. Maybe not, it's too fiddly, but I'll show you later on, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I've gone one step further now. This was the original, made out of paper, and what I've done, I've discarded that now, and I've made them out of cardboard. So this is now the finished prototype. So now I'm going to make 9 of those, and I'm going to stick them on the top of the lamps. So those are going to be the covers, and then they just want a little finial put in on top of that afterwards. So we're getting there now. And there's all the Wolverhampton Wanderers logos, ready and cut out, ready for folding and making into lamp tops. The next stage is to stick the tops onto the lamps. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little production line going here now. I've got my glue ready. I've got my glue spreader ready. And I may have to go into super mode here, we'll see. I'll spread that around a little bit first, like so. Plenty of glue on there. I'm going to stick that onto there, make sure that it's centered, twist it around and check that it's okay. Then I'm going to stand it up in there. Oh, look at that, what I've done. I've mucked it up a little bit, never mind. I'm going to stand that up in there, and I'm going to just put that there. That's one done. Okay, now for the next one. Same procedure, plenty of Yokum in there, spread the glue around, splash it all over, yeah, and all that. Center it, like so, check, oh that's no good, that's not down properly, may have to bend it a little bit more there. Okay, that's good. Now number 2 done. And stand it up to dry. And you can see the procedure now. This is where I go into my super mode. I've had a little bit of trouble with the last one because it's broken. So what I'm going to have to do is to do a reverse psychology on this. I'm going to have to stick that onto there first, and then I'll have to glue it back on the thing afterwards. So that's it for now. I'm done. So that will have to go onto there afterwards because it came out. So there we have now all our little lamps all ready and waiting for the next stage.